Soft lights, subtle hues, backdrop city views, diorama drama characters, into subscribers stacking up, can't refuse. Every pose, every shot, in a million views. Don't collector's vision, capturing precision. Elliot's got the magic, personal mission. Dressing up the plastic, worldwide recognition. Living up the stories, photo art fascination.
What's a doll photographer and doll storyteller? Have you ever heard of the word, shrinkflation? Maybe not be familiar with that, so let me give you a quick example of what it means. Coca-Cola have released a bottle of cola that was 2 liters, and they sold it for a couple of years, and now they have, well, maybe not now, maybe a few years ago, but you get the point. They have released the 1.7 or 1.8 liters and selling it for the same price as if it was 2 liters. The shrinkflation, the concept is basically to have the same product that gets shrinker, but with a higher price. Another example for doll community that probably will be more efficient, the made-to-move Barbie yoga doll. The first one was released, it costed $12. You had a made-to-move body, the heads, the hair, whatever, and the pants and the top, which honestly I never see people using it. Do people use it? Maybe if you're doing a doll photo story and you're using it for doing like Barbie is going to a yoga class and whatever. Not that it was related, but I just had to make this because I think that nobody used that. Anyway. Nowadays, a Barbie yoga doll costs around $24 or 24, yeah. So the question is, how did we get to a point that is becoming normal to have a doll that costs $10 more? And another specific point that we need to talk about here, because the concept of the videos was running in my head for a couple of weeks, and it was triggered by 2 people among the doll community, and we need to talk about that. And the first thing that triggers me and gives me the angle to talk about the shrinkflation in the doll community was
how we ended up here where this is $24.99 and this is $24.99 from the same manufacturer.
So let's get further about the yoga doll, because there is something like I see a storyline going on with it. So for example, the first made to move in my memories was the yoga doll, and they come with the made to move body. After that, we saw the BMR dolls that was at $25 when they were released, or the launch price was at $24, 25 maybe, or 30 for the top, or like the tall one was $30. Anyway, that's not the point in here. Also, they did it, and you had a made to move body, original head sculpt. That's something that is important here. You had original head sculpt. That's crazy. A bunch of clothes and accessories, like the outfit was so well designed, like it's just mind-blowing when you think about it. For the price range we had it, they stopped the BMR line and created the Barbie looks that comes with a top, a bottom, and shoes, just like the Barbie yoga did, but now they're coming with the shoes, and the price range was at $25. But you have less accessories. The box is less defined and details and fun and than the BMR did, because BMR had kind of a fun box somehow. It was, they had this little draw of the dolls in front of the box. It was so cool to see something new and something more fashionable somehow, because the looks now, the outfit, yeah, it's nice, but the quality isn't there. the useness of the outfit isn't there either. So I don't know. I just feel like we have been bipped. I was about to say the F word, but then I thought maybe I should say bipped. We have been fucked. Let's be honest. Let's speak the truth for a sec. And that's not the only example, because Barbie is like a brand that Mattel own, if that makes sense, you know? And Mattel have the Barbie, and Barbie have created several different lines. And the new one coming up soon is the Barbie Bestie something, that everybody is not fooled, because everybody has probably seen that they kind of look like the Ever After High dolls, which leads me to another point of this video, which is the cost of a Barbie doll. I don't have the defined numbers. Don't have any expectation about that. But the thing is that they have access to mold, and creating a new mold is really expensive to do. You know, you have to count between 10,000 or maybe 12,000. It can really skyrocket just to create a mold that will be high resistant with temperature and all that things. So it does cost a lot. But the thing is that Mattel have been able to reuse, you know, the same model, the same head sculpt. The point that they already had the name, if that makes sense. So the thing is that when they created the new dolls, the new lines with the Barbie Besties, they kind of just reused original stuff. You know what I mean? It's like we recycle the thing, but just because it's going to be a new brand, and this is where I want to lead to, just because it's a new brand, a new line, they are able to just put the price they want on it. For example, we have the Barbie mini Barbie Land that's coming up, and nobody was kind of surprised to see that. And I'm speaking for the European price tag. One of the dollhouse was around 12 euros, so probably around $30. But I'm gonna just place it here, specifically here. The price in dollars. But now they're coming up with a new mini Barbie Land, but the house of Barbie the movie. But the thing is, they're not going to just, the price range is not going to be the same as the mini Barbie Land, because it's the license Barbie the movie. So the price now is around $50. And this is why the concept of lines make no sense. Let me be more specific. Ken Couture. The price for the Ken Couture is $100. Let me just do a checklist on what's in the box. The head sculpt, they already have the mold, because it's the mold from the Tate look that they had. So the face mold was already created, so they didn't have to pay much to create that doll. The body is the basic Barbie extra Ken body and number articulation, right? The box, well, you know, it's a basic box, you know, nothing to be just brag about it. And they come with a specific sort of fabric. So you're telling me that back in the days, a Ken extra flight was around $25, which is kind of the same thing than the Ken Couture, but you're making people pay $65 for an outfit. Sort of, because it's not the same line. It isn't, because it's the Ken Couture. And it's the first one, Ken Couture and blah, blah, blah. And people were just bragging about it and just, yeah, but at the end of the day, is the Tate head on the Barbie extra Ken body. So, you know, you can just fool people around. It's not working. It's just not working. It's not worth it. You know, it's just not worth it. For $65, I can go on Etsy and support a local artist, or just someone who is the outfit. So no, it doesn't make any sense. $65 just because it's supposed to be a caricature. But the same goes for the Barbie style. Like, for example, if you go to the Lux line, you can have a doll for $25 that comes with an outfit, like a top, bottom, shoes, and major move bodies, and an original face sculpt. I say that because, you know, the new looks, the one that Silosaur look like the new Barbie-ish, blonde with blue eyes, you know, they use the same head for the Spanish, I think it is. Oh, fuck, I don't know. I think it's Spanish, but I hope it's Spanish because otherwise I would just be fooled. TV show about, you know, high school things. I don't have the references, sorry, but I'm gonna place that on screen or whatever. So yeah, the thing is that you have $25, and on the other hand, because it's Barbie style line, for $25 you have a top, a bottom, and shoes. And it's the same price, but just because it's not on the same line, then you can't pay the same price. And speaking of, there's something that triggers me recently. It was the Barbie mermaid that they released, like the true one with the Odile face sculpt. Something that triggers me was the fact that it wasn't on the Dreamtopia line. And that was kind of weird somehow because they didn't skyrocket the price, which was odd, let's be honest, for a doll was fully pixelated and with bad hairs, but that was kind of weird still, that the price didn't skyrocket for that line. So I would say good point to not focus again. Who knows? Whatever. But let's talk about another brand because we have talked a lot about Barbies and it has been maybe around 10 minutes now. So let's talk about MGA because they have something to do also about the shrinkflation. They did something bad. A few years ago, I think it was 2019 or 20, they released the first Rainbow High doll that comes with the dolls and 2 outfits, which was crazy good for a lot of people for obvious reason because the price range was the same price as the Barbie looks, as we said earlier. And also the fact is that they come up with 2 outfits, so that was pretty dope. But the thing is that later on, they come up with a statement. And this is why I made this video here about the Defa Lucy, because there is something connected here. So MGA made a statement, our policy and risk assessment, that there will not be used or forced prison or indentured labor in MGA product. All employees shall be a voluntary basis. So basically the statement is about everything that they will be fighting against somehow, like they're not approving forced labor, they're not child labor, working hours and compensation. If you need more about some of this stuff explained, I've made a video on the Defa Lucy, and I think it just said that a couple of times now, but everything is explained in here about what this is about. So here's the thing. I am thinking that probably, because I couldn't find anything, and I think MGA Entertainment has the power and the resources to just bury some information in the internet, because nothing does disappear on the internet, but you just can not remove, but kind of bury some information and put some other information top up when you're going on Google, for example, doing some research. But I am just making an assumption or a theory that probably MGA Entertainment have used forced labor, more specifically Uyghur camp. Because the thing is that this statement was originally said in 2020, 21, and the thing is that after the statement, they come up with the bunch of new accessories. So basically, they have been using it. I mean, let's just be honest, let's just be honest. They used forced labor. You can't just say that we're not going to use that. We're not going to use any forced labor, child labor, or people will just be retained against their will because they have the wrong religion. And just come up a few months later with the accessories, and the second outfit was just gone. And you made people pay the same price. You have less product for the same price. This means shrinkflation, in case you haven't understood that before, because I do have the tendency to speak with my hands, and it may not be obvious for some people. So this means shrink. And the thing is that for people who have collected Rainbow High, I don't have any Rainbow High because whatever. I'm genuinely curious because I guess that you have to just eat all of the rainbow, So you just have to get them all like the Pokemon. And now I'm thinking, how many hair dryer do you have? How many brushes do you have for makeup? How many phones do you own for your dolls? More specifically, Rainbow High dolls. There is so many accessories that come up with so many dolls, and they just duplicated it. It's just, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You can't sell something for the same price range. But, well, you just have to be more aware about that. We need to be more aware about that. We need to kind of get together, if that makes sense. Because the thing is that no one cares about the toy industry, let's be honest, unless there is a kid that just swallows something really toxic. We just don't care about that. Coca-Cola is kind of more mainstream, people drink Coca-Cola on a daily basis for some people. So when they saw that the price was the same, but they had less quantity, it wasn't that hard to call them out, and they basically just stopped. Coca-Cola just stopped doing it. And there is other brands that have done the same thing. We remember maybe the Kellogg's commercial about the fact that people don't have enough money to buy food, and they have to choose which lunch or dinner they have to skip because they can't afford to have 3 meals a day. And they come up with a commercial that said that you can have Kellogg's for dinner. So there was a huge campaign about just boycotting Kellogg's because that was sort of inappropriated, and I still think that was just fucked up. Man. Anyway, so they just stepped back, and they just have decided to kind of, their product just went on clearance way faster because people were not buying it. And that's the thing. There is so many brands that were able to step back and just give us the real price, and not just a price that come out just out of nowhere for some, just come out of nowhere. Because I'm really curious, and more specifically about Rainbow High and Mattel, because it's so easy to create a new line and you just come up with a new price. The example of the Ken Couture is, in my opinion, the most important one, because they have had all the details and all the things they needed, the mold and everything they needed to create that doll, but they decided to sell it for $100. And, it's just, I don't feel like it's right when you sell the Barbie yoga doll at $12 and you just come up 10 years later and you just sell it for $24. And and we do not talk about that enough, in my opinion, in the doll community. We do not talk about the FOMO. We do not talk about the fact that, and sorry for some people that watching this and they might get offended, but dolls influencers also have a responsibilities about the fact that making videos about how beautiful is a doll is quite cool, and that's not the issues. The issue is that it's kind of feeding the FOMO. The Defa Lucy doll, for example, I know that I already kind of made a video about her, and I know that I said that 3 times now. The Defa Lucy company is running for 20 years now, and we never heard about her any time before. But the fact is that because it's a more cheaper doll, well, I wonder where does the fabric come from to make that doll cheaper? Anyway, the FOMO came, and all the people all of a sudden wanted to get the doll. And for whatever that means, or for whatever it's worth, what triggers me is the fact that when I go on Instagram, I don't see the dolls. it was a hit for a moment, but now I don't see it. So, but I've already made a video, so I'm not gonna just talk about that anymore. Another thing that triggers me to make that video today was this.
Those dolls know what they are. They're $10. They're made for a certain demographic, and that's what they've always been. They're going to be, and etc. I mean, obviously, like 15 years ago, they were better quality. But to me, this all happened so quickly and for no reason, unless Rainbow High was doing so poorly that they're like, let's milk the very end by doing this. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't doing that bad. Was it doing that bad? Were they like,
no.
Not-
For that, we need to check on the annual report from Mattel and MGA Entertainment, which, by the way, isn't easy to found. Oh, fuck me. So the thing is that MGA didn't share publicly this information. I couldn't find this, but fortunately, I was able to find those from UK, so whatever it's worth. We still have that. So let's start with Mattel to see, sort of the information that we need to know is the company doing well nowadays. And we need to check before COVID and after COVID, because United States and Europe, we have something in common, is that huge company have the tendency to use some stuff as an excuse to just skyrocket the prices. So we just need to just check if they did the math properly. Well, that. So the thing that I'm interested in looking at is the gross billings by categories. Because the billings is kind of what they had before taxes. Because the thing is that every year taxes companies pays might change and evolve, or on the other hand might be less or something. So I'm more interested in how much they make before taxes, if that makes sense. So we hear that we see that, for example, in 2021 it was $6 billion they made. $6.081. In 22, it was 6 billion and 0.048. So there isn't like a huge change, right? They lost million. Let's be honest. But it could be more bad somehow. But to put that in perspective, let's see how much they made before COVID. And we see that in 2019, they were at 5 billion. So that means that before COVID, they were at 5 billion. And after COVID to nowadays, they are at 6 billion. So you can't just come and say that they're doing badly, like Mattel is doing badly, because obviously they're not. So, yeah, someone did the math, but obviously not the same here. Because it's obvious that this is something that I will call shrinkflation. When you say that you're selling a product and discontinued some lines in order to create new ones that become more expensive, but with the same amount of quality and less quantity. So that just doesn't work. Anyway, let's jump to MGA to see the differences. So in the case of MGA, just remember it's the UK, not the United States. So you just have to keep that in mind, because unfortunately I don't have MGA Entertainment, American, but anyway, so we can see that there is definitely a differences in here, because in here we see that there's $85 million, pounds, and in 2021 it was at $80 million, not dollar, pound, fuck's sake. But yeah, we can see that there is definitely a loss somewhere. But the thing is, when you just pay attention to the number, and that's why I love that kind of stuff. they have less money in 2021, but somehow when you see the gross profit, they made more money than they did in the past. And just keep in mind that it was at the end of 2021 that MGA have announced that they would not do forced labor or work with any factory that use forced labor. Numbers don't lie, if that makes sense. But let's get deeper. In 2018, we can see that the gross profit, for example, in here is at 41 million pounds. Just remember, in 2022, they were at 46 million. And just keep just a reminder, and know that I already said that a couple of times, but that is the UK number. It's not the United States number. It's not the global number, because unfortunately I wasn't able to find it. But it just gives you an idea that MGA isn't doing as bad as we think it is. They just decided to go cheaper. It's a decision, not even based on the fact that they were thinking that maybe they need to create something that that just please the audiences, because let's be honest, the little Rainbow High, nobody likes it. Nobody likes them, and still people got them. So, that's something that I just can't really understand. But, you do you, I do me. At the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. But buying it to make a review of a doll that you don't like, there is something that is not working and worthy. You just have to be honest and true to yourself. Like, no, it's not okay. And I think that the Rainbow High, I don't remember, I just had to 15, gosh, they cost $15. The little Rainbow High, I just had to check because I wasn't sure. They are at $15. They're down $10 less. $10 less. And they come with this little tiny cutie animals that we already have seen on the slime dolls, because it's the same model, but it's a little bit smaller. But that's the same one. They didn't even recreate a new thing. They just reuse the things they done in the past, which honestly can be considered as something more ethical in an ecologic sort of reuse and recycle things, which I totally can understand, but we know that it's not even the case. So yeah, not falling for that. But yeah, this is just crazy when you think about it. And there is people who just don't have the information. So that's why I thought I need to create a video when we just put the thing in perspective. They come out with the Rainbow High Littles, and just as I said with the Mattel, considering the fact that it is considered as a new line, they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. And they just can put the price they want in it. So just be aware about that. Just reconsider, think your collection, just reconsider yourself as a doll collector, and think of, do you really want to get it? And if you really want to get it, why? Why this one? Why not another one? Why not from another brand? Why not this and this? We just have to recalculate and reevaluate ourselves as doll content creators, as doll collectors, as doll lovers, or whatever you want to call it. This is just, we need to send a message at some point, because we just can't let this happen, because unfortunately, there is nothing that is going to change if we do not decide collectively to just rethink the way we do things, we collect things. It's kind of important because, for example, we talked about the made-to-move bodies, for example. There's some people who are buying, and let's be honest, the Luke's dolls, I forgot the number, him. There are so many people out there who have got that one, and he become really rare nowadays. But the fact is that this body fits so much more can new body or new hair sculpt, because the skin tone is a pretty good match. And the thing is that we now have this thing in the Barbie doll community that is more like kid bashing. It's a word that comes from the action figure, so I don't know if it's familiar for Barbie doll collector. But basically, you just get the head from a company and the body from another company and hope for the best for the skin tone and that everything match. And this is what's going on here, because now that there is a new Barbie doll coming, or a new, model coming, like for example, when there was the Little Mermaid doll, or even the new Odile doll, the mermaid ones, people were wondering which one fits the best. So the Asian one, for example, matched the best the purple hair, the tennis player, and apparently the one from the BMR fits quite good the purple hair. So not the purple, this one. In case you were wondering, here it is. But this is also kid bashing. You need to pay $2. You need to pay a BMR, which is around, now I think recently on Amazon I saw her at 29 euros, so around $30 or something. And the tennis player was around $16 when I got her. And you have to buy the mermaid dolls. They were $12 euros. In Germany and France, they were at 12 euros. So you do the math. At the end, you just have spent almost, $35 or 35 euros for one doll, without clothes, because it will be too easy and too fun. So yeah, just pay attention to yourself, pay attention to the doll community, how it's evolving, because there is so many new products coming along and coming. We know that Monster High, for example, really had a strong diarrhea because there are so many dolls coming from the Monster High collection. So just pay attention. They're not doing bad. Honestly, we just saw the annual report. They're not doing that. They know what they're doing. They know that there is a target, and they say it's for kids, but they know it's not. They know that it's the adult who have the money. And considering the fact that there is more and more parents nowadays who do want more organic, more ethical toys for their kids, we know that adult doll collector is a huge business for them. So we have a power in here to just say enough is enough. But at the end of the day, you do you, I do me. You have an information in here, so you do whatever you want with it. But just take care of yourself. It's supposed to be a hobby. So it's your safe place. It's a bubble. So cherish it. Take care of it. Anyway, bye.